Welcome back to the channel. I want to talk about the 2005 NBA Finals. This series is one of my favorite final series of all time. It was between the two best defensive teams in the NBA that year. If you look it up, the 2004 Detroit Pistons, as we see, were second in the best defense in the NBA that year, and the San Antonio Spurs were first with the best defense in the NBA that season. So hey, the number one and number two teams with the best defense in the league facing each other in the NBA Finals, and that was the first time that ever happened in a final series, by the way, if you didn't know. But yeah, this series was really amazing. A lot of people point to this series though as it being the reason why the NBA eventually outlawed handshaking the very next season within the 2005-2006 NBA season, because this final series was, defensive first, really slowed down pace of game, primarily, tough half court play on both sides of the ball, and it really was a slow series. And I have the numbers up for the halftime scores of this game. So in game one in this series, at halftime the score was 37-35, and then the score was 55-51 after 3 quarters. In game 4 at halftime the score was 42-41 at the half, and after 3 quarters the score was 70-65. Can you imagine that in today's NBA? Wow. And in the game 7 matchup, right, the score was 39-38 at the half, and after 3 quarters the game was tied at 57. This would not happen in today's NBA with the rules being more catered towards the offensive player, because as we know, the NBA really just cares about scoring now. So that's why they allow no hand checking. That's why the NBA then took away having no 3 seconds in the key rule. That's why they have the dribbling rules are just so free now. These players can just, in a way, carry the ball because they want to see more scoring. Imagine if players back then were allowed to carry the ball like that. That's why when I see people, like when you show clips of, Bob Cousy dribbling or Jerry West, you have these goofies say, "Oh, these guys are trash, man. Look how they dribble." And I'm looking at them like, yo, do you know the reason why they dribble the ball like that? Because if they literally even in the slightest way kind of carry the ball, the referee was going to call a travel, and that's going to be a turnover, and the other team is going to get the ball on offense. Like, it's crazy how a lot of people don't know that, but I'm going to digress. Back to the 2005 finals. It was a really tough series, and I'm going to play a clip of the players and coaches, that were on the Spurs and Pistons that participated in the 05 finals, talk about their reasoning and saying, hey, this series is truly the reason why the rules are so lenient today, when it comes to offense.
I really feel like that series changed the NBA forever.
Manu Trace! Manu Ginobili with a huge...
It was not pretty.
Hamilton's going coast!
When we got to Detroit, they beat us like we stole something.
It was only boring to those teams that weren't in it.
Horry from the corner, Johnson in for 3.
Robert Horry.
Man.
Slam dunk, Robert Horry.
Yeah, Robert Horry went off that in that game 5. I want to show some clips, man, of just Robert Horry just cooking. This game 5 was crucial because, as we see, the score was tied 2-2, and the Pistons were up at one point. The Pistons were really up at one point. You see, Rasheed got, Robert Horry, he got a bucket to tie the game, and then he hit the game winner. That's why I think name is Big Shot Bob. Look at that. Took the ball and just dunked it. For the clutch basket. And Robert Horry was balling out that game. That game was really, really great. If you don't watch it, if you haven't watched it, please do. It's on YouTube for the free skis. But yeah, man, this was a really good series. It's crazy how in that game, right? In that game 5, Rasheed Wallace left Robert Horry wide open. Yeah, he was. It was like a little pick and roll action happened, and then they just double Manu, and for some reason I don't know why Rasheed did that. You know, you're leaving Robert Horry knockdown 3-point specialist open, crazy. But yeah, man, I low key was like a big Tony Parker fan, so I was really rooting for the Spurs. But that was a really great series, man. Really, really great series. And another interesting thing about this series is a lot of people, if you talk to them about it, a lot of people say Manu Ginobili should have won the Finals MVP over Tim Duncan. Now, when it comes to that, right, I don't agree. I don't agree with that because although, in Game 7, Tim Duncan, his shot was off, right? He wasn't efficient from the field, but he was still able to definitely put up some good numbers, and his front court play and his defensive presence was truly felt because the Pistons were definitely having a hard time scoring the ball. But yeah, in this game, right, in Game 7, Duncan had 25 points, 11 boards on 37% field goal shooting. That is low. He got 2 blocks that game. But Ginobili was hitting his shots. Again, I watched this series in full, a couple weeks ago, but no one was hitting the shots in Game 7. Look, even Tony Parker, he had an off shooting night this game. He had 8 points on 27% field goal shooting, which is just awful. But yeah, Big Shot Rob came in off the bench, had 15 points, hit 2 threes, shooting 50% from the 3-point line that game. And Manu Ginobili play really, really helped them. But there was a few games where Manu play was just off, right? Especially like in the games that they lost, Manu shots were just off. Like, yeah, as you see, look at that in Game 3. Manu didn't play that well. He only had 7 points. You can say Duncan didn't play that well too, but hey, man, he was in the front court, doing it all. That front court with Rasheed and Wallace was tough. That was a really, really tough front court. One of the best defensive front courts in NBA history for sure. But yeah, I feel like Tim Duncan was definitely, not even I feel like he was. Tim Duncan was really, really more consistent this series, and I feel like he should have. He deserved his Finals MVP award. I mean, look at the numbers that he put up this series. 20 points, 20.6 points per game, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. And he shot 41% from the field. That's a bad field goal percentage, but you have to take into consideration how tough and physical the defensive pressure was in this series, right? Yeah, Manu did his thing for sure. Look at that. Man, average 18.7 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and yeah, he shot super efficient from the field. He was the most efficient scorer on the team, and in terms of field goal percentage this series. But now with Tim Duncan's play on offense and defense was truly what the Spurs needed to win this game. And of course, Robert Horry, 7-time champion, his play as well. TP did his thing too, especially in Game 2. Game 2 was really, really a big win for them because the backcourt play from the Spurs, that Parker and Ginobili play was really, really great. They shot 70% from the field in Game 2 if you add up the numbers that between Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker this game. They played really, really good. Parker put up 12 points, 66% field goal shooting, and Ginobili put up 27 points on 75% field goal shooting, going 4 for 5 from the 3. Super efficient play from your backcourt. And look at Bruce Brown. I said Bruce Brown. Bruce Bowen, the defensive specialist and really one of the first true 3-and-D players in the NBA. He played good this game. Shooting 4 out of 8 from 3, which is 50%. Which is 15 points. All of his points came from the 3. Pretty much almost all of his points came from the 3, which is dope. But yeah, He was a good player, man. I love Bruce Bowen. Tough defense, man. Really, really great perimeter defensive player. But that's what made this team great, and that's what made the series great. People sleep on Richard. People know Richard Hamilton only for his his mid-range game, but that man played defense, yeah. Chauncey Billups was tough, and again, Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace and Tayshaun Prince, man, that man, his length was crazy, man. He was one of the first dudes. I'm not gonna say he's one of the first, but he was really known for getting them chase down blocks. A lot of people talk about like, oh, LeBron popularized the chase down block. Nah, a lot of players did it before him, and Tayshaun Prince had a lot of those. He got called for goaltending on one of those in this series against TP. But yeah, this was a really, really great series, man. I love this series. That rugged, half court play, that grinded out type of play style in basketball. And this truly, in my opinion, is one of the reasons why the NBA, outlawed hand checking, and why, the offense is just so free flowing. I kind of agree with, Bruce Bowen, Chauncey Billups, and everybody in that video I just showed. This series really changed the course in history, and it was almost 20, going on a couple months will make it 20 years when this series happened, man. Time be flying. Time really flies. But yeah, just some clips from game 1. Look at the numbers, man. Duncan went off, man. That big three. Man. Great series, man. I can't show too much of the clips. YouTube be tripping. I can't show too much of the clips. But yeah, if y'all ever have a chance, please watch this series, man. The games are really great, bro. If you like that old school basketball, especially if you like, where the teams have to be more strategic and where every bucket counts, every bucket truly matters. If you like that type of style of playing basketball, definitely rewatch this series in full. Even if you just want to watch a couple of games, definitely watch. If you do, definitely watch that that game 2, game 5, or game 7 series. But hey, watch the whole series because you would really enjoy it. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly talk about this series, yo. Again, it's one of my favorite final series of all time. I'll put it in my top 10. Favorite final series ever. Really great basketball. But yeah, y'all tell me your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Do you also agree that this series was one of the reasons why the league outlawed, hand checking, or do you just think the NBA was just gonna do it regardless? And just what are your thoughts on this series overall and both of these teams, man? The Pistons were great. I really feel like a lot of people would remember this team more if they went back to back, because as you know, they won the finals in 2004 against the Lakers. Really great basketball that they played that year. And hey, they made multiple Eastern Conference Finals appearances. That Pistons team was good, and we all know about the Spurs dynasty, man. They went on to win the chip in 2007, and almost won the chip in 2013. And Ray Allen hit that 3, and hey, look what they did in 2014. They got their revenge on the Heat. Man, just a true dynasty. The San Antonio Spurs are. In the way that the Spurs I would say they kind of remind me of Golden State right now. You might think, hey, it's over for them, but they always come back. They always come back, and they always are contenders. You can never count them out. But yeah, I might even do a video comparing the Spurs and the Warriors dynasties. So definitely stay tuned. And again, I just hit 100 subscribers. I appreciate y'all so much. A lot of people might be like, "Hey, man, that don't mean nothing, man. That small amount of subscribers, hey, it means something to me. I just love talking basketball, man. I just love talking hoops. That's it." So again, man, please tell me your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. Like, subscribe. Till next video.